and welcome to My Voices Have Tourettes, and that's why we're doing a virtual open mic. My name is Dan Zarin. Let's get started here. So today's episode is brought to you by Gamesless Studio, where we are recording The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smaude's Volcano Sauces, the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my entire life. So today we are actually doing an update episode. This is just a short episode to let you guys know about an event coming up that we are doing tomorrow on May 5th, 2021. And here to talk all about it with me is my co-host, Stefnir Benedictson.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you, man?
Excited about the open mic for sure.
Yes. So we are doing a virtual open mic, and this is actually not just our first My Voices Have Tourette's virtual open mic. It is our first open mic.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, man.
Yeah, because we've always done the show. The show's always been like the stand-up comedy show. It's always been more of like a showcase where we have a set lineup. It started off originally. It was me, Elva, and Hannah. Yeah, and then I believe Thodotler and Carmela Trini came in.
Sure,
and then you came into the picture.
That's true.
And it's kind of evolved, but we've always just kind of kept it as a showcase, kind of with just added guests that were performing as well. And now we've got people that have never performed in the show that are performing with us. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty excited. I mean, I've heard about a lot of these people and I've checked out their comedy, and these are funny people for sure.
Yeah. So for those of you listening in that are just like, all right, enough of the talk. How do we watch? Because I know you're all thinking that. Basically, we're going to be doing this through Zoom. And if you find My Voices Have Tourette's on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, we are going to be posting a free virtual ticket that you can screenshot. You can send it to your friends. You can torrent it. You can post it on any site you want. Post it to anyone. It's a free virtual ticket. It has the meeting ID that you will need to get into the Zoom, and it has the passcode, which is just simply voices with a capital V. Thought I'd make it easy, Yeah. Just straight up easy.
Yeah.
And if you go on there, you can get the meeting ID. You can get all that information. Like I said, send it to all your friends. We already have a lineup of a bunch of amazing comedians. Two of us with Tourette's syndrome. One has an anxiety disorder. 3 with bipolar disorder, autism. We also have someone with prosopagnosia.
What's that again?
Prosopagnosia is facial blindness.
Right.
Yeah. And what's fascinating about that's so this is not just going to be the first open mic. It's not just going to be the first time we have this person performing in the show. It's the first person with prosopagnosia performing in our show.
Yeah. We've had people with some weird stuff, but that one's a first for sure.
Well, with the to kind of talk real quick about like the open mic and stuff like that. Here in Iceland, we kind of just got back into comedy. We just got back into being able to perform, at the Secret Cellar and all that. And how has it been for you coming back from this big lockdown and now being able to perform again?
Well, of course, I'm a little anxious. I'm a little scared, but I'm pretty excited too, because I've been itching to get back into comedy. I haven't done much of it. I did maybe two gigs over Zoom, which felt pretty weird, but it was good. So yeah, I'm excited to get back into comedy. I've missed it a lot.
Yeah, and you did it very regularly before. You were at all the open mics. You were doing voices once a week.
Absolutely.
And then to go from that to just where are all my gigs?
Exactly. Yeah, I had nothing.
And what I loved about we did a virtual gig together on Zoom.
Yes, we did.
And you managed to do crowd work on Zoom, which is such a different experience.
Yeah. I don't know where I pulled that out of.
But it worked. It was beautiful. You pulled it off. Out of curiosity, because, every comedian is different. How did you just randomly do it, subconsciously, just go into the crowd work? You didn't plan it at all?
No. I hardly ever plan crowd work. It's just that
You hardly ever do crowd work.
no, but when I pick up on the crowd that there's something there, I sort of, yeah, maybe I'll grab onto that.
Well, and it's interesting also because I remember when you first joined the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it was episode Mr. Crazy. You came. We were talking about how like with autistic comedians, a lot of them tend to, or at least the ones that I've seen, tend to do things like it's like very mathematically, like very like on point. You're basically reading a script.
Yeah.
You don't focus on the clock. You're just like, I have my set and I'm going to do my set.
Yeah.
When you do crowd work though, does that have a bit of an effect on that process, or is it just because you've done stand up for so long now that you've kind of built that ability to just go back and forth?
That's a good question. It's sort of, the crowd work bit is sort of more of a reaction than it is a conscious choice.
Okay.
You know, I see something in the crowd and I react to it. And my biggest problem with it is that, you know, when I have a set that's set on, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something like that, and then I stumble upon some crowd work, I have a tendency to go over because I need to finish my set, you know?
Right.
So I don't really edit myself in that sense. So crowd work is a risk for me.
Well, to be fair, it's a risk for everyone. I mean, because I've noticed some of the best comedians I've ever seen, like they'll go into crowd work and they will just like own that crowd.
Yeah.
But then other nights, like they'll mess up with one person and then every like the energy is just sucked out, you know?
Absolutely.
It's just such a huge risk, but when you pull it off, holy crap,
The
it's
reward
fun.
is amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I remember I did there was a joke that I did for a while that I rarely do because it's on a dark topic.
Right.
Like it talks about, because I talk about my experiences with I guess I should do a trigger warning here. We'll just say I talked about a dark topic. And it's when you talk about dark topics in comedy, you have to be on point and you have to have the audience with you, or you will just straight up bomb.
Exactly.
And I remember there was one night I was doing crowd work and it just like everyone I was talking to, it was just working, boom, boom, boom. And then I get to this other person and like they just started talking about literally the build up to this joke. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm going for it. And I took that risk and it paid off. And then like I get just all the way to the end of my crowd work set and I introduce the next comedian and I'm just like, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah. But you got to be very careful because you got to get that little bit of a build up, or you got to be very careful reading the crowd there.
And also because, I mean, with comedy in general, I mean, it's like with guitar and any musical instrument for that matter, it's confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowd can sense when you're not confident.
Absolutely.
And that can ruin a joke just by, he's worried about this, so we should be worried about it.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah.
And that's the problem with crowd work. You got to be extra confident because as soon as you're talking directly to someone and then you're not confident and you start like fumbling your words.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, this is awkward.
Exactly. And awkward is not funny unless you do it really well.
Yeah. But what do you think of, I mean, so Zoom comedy, to plug again, our virtual open mic, it's on Zoom. How do you feel about doing gigs on Zoom? It's obviously different.
It's absolutely different. Yeah. First time I did it, I felt really out of place and I felt weird not having an audience. And I sort of felt like I was talking to myself. You know,
it's definitely more intimate.
It's, yeah, towards yourself, but you don't feel as intimate with the crowd.
Okay.
So, yeah, well, it helps to see video of faces. You know, so you get to see the response that you're getting and that sort of thing. So I'm glad I'm not doing stand-up over radio.
That would be awkward.
Really weird. Yeah.
Like a podcast stand-up set.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awful. But it's been, I feel pretty good about Zoom.
I think they're fun in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, because like a lot of comedians right now, and I'm one of them. I like, if you think about it, I mean, doing stand-up comedy on Zoom, that's not stand-up comedy. It's not really, because you're taking the whole aspect of having a live crowd and everything. It's not the same.
And you can do it sitting down.
Right. It's still comedy. It's still definitely comedy, and
Absolutely.
it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I actually did one the other night for Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California.
Oh.
Yeah, and of course it was 7 in the evening for them.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, "Oh, well, we're doing a bit of an early show," and I'm like, "Early? It's 2 in the morning here."
Exactly.
I stayed up till 1 in the morning to do a sound check, and then I stayed up till 2 in the morning to start this show and do this show, and oh my goodness, it paid off. That was one of the most fun shows I've done in so long. And it was just because everyone was into it, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you get a comedian that's like you got comedians that are into it, and then you've got others that are not into it, and you've got the crowd that's trying to get into it with everyone, and they're you know, this was just, everyone was together with this.
Yeah.
And I think because I think it's a different form of comedy in that it's like you're literally doing a video call.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
and that's why I bring up the intimate vibe of it, because it's like you're in like, just like, you know, a living room with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Doing
You're having
comedy
a party,
for them.
telling jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're the guy telling jokes at a party. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Which can work. I mean, I've tried that at parties. I'm usually the one that people be like, "Hey, Dan, we're playing a game. Can you shut up?"
It's your turn, Dan. Stop talking.
It's your turn. By the way, Uno.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this. And to those of you listening, again, this is our first time doing this. Hopefully it goes well, and we'll do this again. I think our goal is to do this either once a week or once every other week.
Yeah.
We want to start getting these, you know, like really, really going and get people into the swing of things. I want to get comedians from all over the world performing with us.
That's the goal.
So if you're a comedian listening into this, and maybe you have a disorder or a syndrome or a disability, and you really want to talk about it in stand-up comedy, send us a message at info@mvhtshow.com. Let us know about you, even if you don't want to do the show, but you really want to chat with us and just get to know us and share your experiences. Check out our Facebook page, MVHT Podcast Discussion Group. It's a great page. We're really building up the numbers of people on there, and we're really having a blast with it. So, you know, join that page. I think that kind of wraps it up for this.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think the main thing was just to tell you guys about the open mic.
When is this happening again?
This is happening tomorrow, Wednesday, May 5th at it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
If you're in Iceland listening to this and you want to, it's a midnight showing. We will be starting at midnight Icelandic time. It's going to be a blast. So it's definitely worth waiting up.
How many are on the lineup?
We have a bunch of comedians. We have so many comedians. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, if you want to find out the information for how to log into Zoom, again, check out Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We'll have our virtual ticket on there.
Cool.
Again, you can screenshot it, share it. It has our meeting ID on there and our passcode, which again is voices with a capital V. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. So, Stefnir, thank you for joining me on here.
Thanks for having me.
And to the listeners, if you want to find out more information about Stefnir, you can find him on Facebook at Stefnir Comedy. You also have Instagram at Stefnir Benediktsson. And you can find me at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Dan Zarin Comedy. And our Facebook and Instagram for the show at My Voices Have Tourettes. Twitter is MVHT Show. We have MVHTshow.com. Again, there's the MVHT Show, MVHT Podcast Discussion Group on Facebook. If you want to support the podcast, check out our Patreon page at MVHT Show. Everything's basically at MVHT Show. I mean, we really could just say that.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this on streaming services, make sure to follow us, subscribe, rate our podcast, give us a 5-star review if you loved it. If you hate the podcast, give us a 1-star review, but let us know why so we can work on that and make it better for everyone.
Yeah.
I think other than that, because that's kind of it. Oh, this podcast was brought to you by Games the Studio, where we're recording always, right?
Yeah.
The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smalty's Volcano Sauce is the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my life. Other than that, thank you all so much for listening, and check out new episodes every Tuesday.
See you on Wednesday.